Welcome. Today I'll be discussing about DNA replication in prokaryote, the initiation, elongation and termination stages of DNA replication in prokaryotes. Replication is a process in which DNA copies itself to produce identical daughter molecules. So there are so many enzymes which play a major role in the replication of DNA replication in prokaryotes. The main enzyme which is required for the replication in prokaryotes includes DNA polymerases, which are of three main types. DNA polymerase 3, which synthesizes the leading strand. Polymerase 2 involved in DNA repair. Polymerase 1 is involved in the synthesis of lagging strands. Helicase helps in the unwinding of DNA. SSP protein will stabilize the unwound DNA helix. DNA G primase initiates the DNA replication by polymerizing RNA primer of approximately 5 to 11 nucleotides in length. Topoisomerases are responsible for either creating or relaxing the supercoiled DNA. DNA polymerase 1 has the polymerization action, editing and proofreading activities. Ligase will finally seal the phosphodiester backbone in the lagging strand of DNA. DNA replication is semi-conservative. So the meaning of semi-conservative is half of the parental strand is conserved in each newly formed daughter DNA molecule. So each parent strand acts as a template for the synthesis of new complementary strand in daughter DNA. DNA replication is bidirectional. This means that it can replicate in both directions. Okay, it can replicate in both the directions. So that the entire DNA can be replicated within a short period of time. Typically, two replication complexes are formed at this single region, that is the origin site. Okay, there is only one origin site in prokaryotes and the DNA replication proceeds in both the directions. Therefore, the replication forks are formed that move along the DNA and make this DNA replication bidirectional. Okay. It is also semi-discontinuous. This means one strand will be continuously synthesized and the other strand will be discontinuously synthesized. Okay, so it is both bidirectional as well as semi-discontinuous. So one of the strand will be continuously synthesized, that is the leading strand, and the other strand will be in discontinuous mode. Okay, that is the lagging strand. This lagging strand is also called as Okazaki fragments. Finally, these fragments are joined in the replication fork by the enzyme DNA ligase. The three major steps in DNA replication includes initiation, chain elongation and termination. In E. coli, the origin of replication ORIC, okay, REC, it is termed as REC. It has a unique region of 245 base pairs where the replication begins. Okay, the sequence where the DNA synthesis begins is said to be the origin of replication. There is only one origin of replication in the case of prokaryotes, and there will be multiple REC regions in the eukaryotes. Okay, so this the first step in initiating the DNA replication is binding of DNA A protein. Okay, binding of DNA A protein will initiate the DNA replication in prokaryotes. It will bind to a specific sequence that is called the REC region and unwind small AT rich sequences downstream for the assembly of the replisome. The association of DNA B and DNA C, which is a regulator of DNA B, this C is a regulator of DNA B, is required for DNA B to be bound with this DNA replication fork in E. coli. Once the region of origin, once it binds to this REC region, the DNA will melt and DNA helicase, primase, DNA C, single-stranded DNA binding proteins and finally DNA polymerase will join together in the initiation site and form the replication complex called as replisome. So the theta mode of replication, okay, in E. coli the replication mode is said to be theta mode, and it is single, it has got single replication origin. Binding of DNA A protein will recognize and binds with 5 DNA A boxes, okay. So the 5, okay, there are so many DNA A boxes in the REC region. So this DNA A protein which will go and bind with this DNA boxes, which is of 9 base pairs repeat, okay. So the base pairs in this REC region will be about TAAT CCACA base pair, okay, which will be present in this DNA boxes. So 9 base pairs are present in each DNA box. REC will bind with this base pair to open the helix, okay, to open the double helical structure. So this DNA A protein will successfully melt the repeated 13 base pairs AT rich segment to form a open complex. DNA A complex then recruits 2 molecules of DNA B, and DNA C also will be bind to the opposite end of the melted region, which produces a replication bubble. It's also called as replication I, okay. This is the pre-priming complex. Then DNA B protein along with this DNA C protein. B protein is nothing but the helicase enzyme. Both of them will be involved in the formation of this replication bubble, okay. In E. coli the chromosome has got a unique region with 245 base pair. That segment is called as the REC region, okay. So binding within this REC is specific to 4, 9 AT rich sequences known as the DNA boxes. ATP is required for the activation of DNA A, okay. So when this DNA A, when it's bound with this ATP complex, it will first bind with the DNA boxes and then binds to the remaining region of the REC region, creating a large nucleoprotein complex leading to unwinding of the duplex DNA. Both this DNA ATP as well as DNA ADP molecules can bind to DNA A boxes, although DNA ATP has got more affinity towards it, okay. This DNA A undergoes significant structural changes in the form of expansion. So it will have relaxed state as well as tensed state. In the during contraction it will have a tense state upon binding to this nucleotides. It is activated when it expands. That means ATP, upon binding with ATP and DNA, it gets expand and it becomes inactivated upon contraction. That means DNA will be bound with ADP, okay. Two states, two forms of DNA you can have, expansion and contraction state. So when ATP and DNA both bind to this DNA A box, there is greater expansion in the protein leading to a relaxed conformation, which is the key step in the activation of the origin of chromosomal DNA replication. Second step is the elongation of DNA replication, okay. So the DNA polymerase requires a primer to initiate the DNA synthesis. DNA strands are polymerized by prokaryotic DNA polymerases at a speed of up to 1000 bases per second per molecule of the enzyme. During the elongation stage of DNA replication, addition of deoxynucleotides will be proceeding at the 3'OH end of the RNA primers. So after the unwinding the parental double helix, replication fork will be created, okay. Thus DNA A protein plus DNA B protein plus C protein will bind to that single strand to form a replication fork. Then this replication fork moves in both the direction, okay. It is bidirectional, so resulting in the formation of 2 replication forks. Then the replication forks move along the parent DNA in both the direction away from the REC region, okay. SSB binding proteins will bind to that single strand to prevent reannealing of the 2 separated parent strands. These SSB binding proteins will bind cooperatively. That means binding of one monomer will facilitate the binding of other SSB proteins. Then removal of supercoils will be done with the help of topoisomerase. Okay. So during the helix separation, it will introduce positive supercoils. This topological stress will be relieved with the help of the enzyme called as topoisomerase. So after this, elongation stage will take place. For elongation, a primer, RNA primer is required, okay, which is synthesized by DNA G primase enzyme, so that the 3-OH group is exposed. For leading strand elongation, the first RNA primer synthesized by the primers at 3' end of the DNA template is extended by the DNA polymerase 3. Two replication forks usually proceed from each origin, one in each direction. One strand will be continuously synthesized, that is called the leading strand, and the other strand is frequently primed. Okay, it requires more number of primers, whereas leading strand requires only one primer. This Okazaki fragments or the discontinuous fragments requires more number of primers, which is eventually processed into a continuous lagging strand. Okay. So this lagging strand replication involves the synthesis of Okazaki fragments and joining them together with the help of the enzyme DNA polymerase 1 and DNA ligase. It is the DNA ligase which will seal the nicks between the Okazaki fragments. In prokaryotes, there are about 1000 to 2000 bases long Okazaki fragments, whereas in eukaryotes, they are only about 100 to 200 bases long. Okay. So this is the steps. Okay, these are the main steps involved in the prokaryotic replication. Okay. So the clamping action will be done with the help of DNA polymerase on the leading strand and helicase and DNA primase. These two proteins together called as the primosome. Topoisomerase will relieve the stress in the DNA double helical structure. Helicase will helps in the opening of the double helical strand. It is bidirectional, so one strand will be synthesized continuously. That is okay, towards the replication fork, that is the leading strand, and one strand will be synthesized away from the replication fork, that is the Okazaki fragment or the lagging strand. Okay. Then the third stage is termination of DNA replication. Termination of DNA replication in prokaryotes occurs at specific sequence called as TER region, TE or region, okay, which is located at the opposite end of circular DNA or plasmid to the origin site. So this is the in a circular DNA. If this is the origin, means in the opposite side you will have so many numbers of TER proteins. Okay, the replication of terminator protein. That's this TUS protein. So TUS protein is nothing but the termination utilization sequence. Okay, TUS stands for termination utilization sequence. Okay, this protein will bind to the TER protein, TUS TER complex. So they will form TUS TER. So this TER protein will be bound or clamped by this TUS protein. Okay, at each end of the terminal region of this TER proteins will be clamped by this TUS protein, which will induce replication arrest. Okay, so this binding of this TUS protein to the TER sequence will prevent the replication movement. Okay, this TER-TUS complex will prevent the movement of polymerase enzyme and it will stop the DNA replication. In E. coli, there are 10 TER sites, and the binding of TUS protein to these sites will prevent the replication fork from passing through by inhibiting the helicase activity. Okay, so TER site is of 24 base pairs. TER stands for termination sites. These are placed away. These are placed in such a way that they will complete the round of replication. Okay, so this is a thus is a termination utilization sequence. It forms a ring-like structure over the TER protein. Okay, so this TUS protein will form a clamp-like structure with the TER region. which is in a unidirectional way. So one end will have a permissive end, the other end will be of non-permissive end. Okay, so two thus proteins will be present. One thus protein will be at the permissible end, and the other thus protein will be bound with the non-permissive end. Once the replication enzyme reaches the non-permissive end, it will not allow further movement of the DNA polymerase. Okay, if it approaches the permissive end, the thus-ter complex dissociates, allowing the replication fork to complete the replication. So when the DNA polymerase touches the permissive end, it will allow the thus-ter complex dissociation. Okay, and it will complete the replication. Whereas if it touches the non-permissive end, it will end with the replication. Okay, so this thus-ter complex will not allow helicase enzyme to unwind the double helical strand. So at the non-permissive end, the clips will be removed. Okay, it will remove one of the base pairs of the DNA near the helicase end. Okay, so thus permitting the replication fork to do the action. So this is how the thus and ter proteins will do its action to terminate the replication. Okay, so replication will be terminated when it touches the ter proteins. So there are 10 ter proteins are there which will terminate the DNA replication. Okay, so so here the ter A, ter D, ter E proteins are there, and in one side you can see ter C, ter B, and ter F and ter G. Okay, ter C, B, F and ter G. Thus the arrest of replication movement at these terminator sites requires the action of thus protein. Okay, these thus proteins will specifically bind to the ter sites and prevent the strand displacement by helicase. Thereby it will arrest the replication fork movement. Okay, fidelity of DNA replication. Okay, the precise copying of genetic information during DNA replication provides genetic stability to living organisms. So the fidelity of DNA replication is accomplished mainly by the proofreading activity of DNA polymerases. The 3' to 5' exonuclease activity of DNA polymerase is a key player in achieving the accurate DNA replication. The alpha subunit of E. coli DNA polymerase 3 holoenzyme catalyzes the polymerization reactions and establish the complementary base pairing to the template strand. Okay, if a wrong base is added to the growing chain, then the epsilon subunit of DNA polymerase 3, which has got the 3' to 5' exonuclease, will remove the wrong base and ensures for the correct base pairing to take place. The accuracy of DNA polymerization during DNA replication is about 1 error per 10 to the power of 6 nucleotide incorporations. Additionally, after the completion of DNA replication, DNA repair enzymes and systems will check continuously to minimize the introduction of any errors in the base pairing. Some of the inhibitors of DNA replication which can prevent or reduce the synthesis of precursors. Okay, so these inhibitors of DNA replications are classified according to the way they prevent or reduce the synthesis of precursors, that is bases and nucleotides. And the second method to classify them is based on the effect that they affect either the template or the priming ability of the growing strand, and those that are directly on polymerases, they act directly on the polymerases or other enzymes required for replication. So based on these three conditions, inhibitors are classified into three main classes. Some of the examples for this inhibitors for DNA replication includes the antibacterial agents and anti-cancer agents. The antibacterial agents like ciprofloxacin and novobiocin, Anti-cancer agents includes 6 mercaptopurine and 5 fluorouracil. All these will inhibit the DNA replication. Okay. So many drugs are there to inhibit DNA replication. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe and support the channel by Chemistry DSP.